Hello and welcome to TFD TV. I am Lindsey Frankus and this is FYI Friday, where every week we are solving your DIY and design-related dilemmas one question at a time. This week's question comes from Brandy and she writes, "Hi there, I have to say I adore all your creativity. I wish I had the knowledge to DIY more, but I'm learning. My husband and I are buying a house and should be moving in next month. The kitchen cabinets are ugly and we would like to paint them. I have thought about chalk painting them, but have no idea which line would be best or if chalk painting would even be a good solution. Any help would be greatly appreciated." Well, Brandy, this is a great question, and I just want to start off by saying congratulations to you and your husband. I want to wish you all the best. This is so exciting. And I also want to say that I'm a little bit excited to hear that your first house is not perfect. I know that might sound a little bit crazy, but let me explain. I have often found that many times when we move into a house, the things that begin as the eyesores or the headaches that keep us up at night can often end up being our favorite places in our house. And this is why. When we have something that isn't the best and we change it, we have the opportunity to change it however we want. So you can choose paint colors or finishes or any of these things that are tailored to you and your unique design tastes and your family. And so oftentimes they end up being just what you want and you love them. So I'm super excited for you and your husband. Don't fret the cabinets. I'm sure when they're done, they're not only going to be better than they are now, but they're going to be something that you love because you're picking it. So no worries, my friend, you got this. So back to your question about paint and chalk paint in particular. Today, in answering this question, I would like to talk about 3 different types of paint. So we're going to discuss chalk paint, latex paint, and oil paint. And I want to let you know that when I responded to Brandy on this one, I actually answered her question with a question. And I know that that can sometimes be really frustrating when people do that. But the reason I do it is because oftentimes when people come to me with a question or looking for a solution to their problem, I find that there is not one steadfast answer that just applies to everyone across the board. That many times I have to ask some questions of a client or a person just asking a question to help lead them down the road and kind of find their own solution, find something that is unique to them and their family. What the neighbor or the guy down the street did is not always the best answer for your family. So things that I asked Brandy to consider when she is trying to decide how to paint her kitchen cabinets are things like, do you or will you have any small children in the house in the near future? If so, you might want to think about going towards something that's going to clean easier, something that you can get a semi or high gloss paint on so that you can wipe things down. The other thing to consider is pets. I wanted to know if she was going to have any indoor pets. I know for myself, we have a Great Dane Mastiff mix, so it is a mammoth of a dog that likes to slobber, and he slings that slobber all over our house, and we are constantly washing up after him. So we have to have something that's extremely durable. So those were some things that I wanted her to consider. And then I broke it down into the different paints and kind of the pros and cons to each. So for chalk paint, we talked about the fact that if you're going to go with chalk paint, you're really probably going to end up with more of a kind of farmhouse or antiqued look to your cabinets, which is great if that's what you're going for. Chalk paint is nice because their whole claim is that you can cut out the priming step, which is huge. We all like to save time these days as we're busy mamas, most of us. So that's a good plus for chalk paint. It is said to be really easy to apply and goes on smooth and gives a nice kind of silky, chalky finish. So that's nice. I myself have actually never used any of the big brand chalk paints. I have made my own once before, and it did a great job as far as coverage goes, but I just didn't care for the finish myself. However, I stopped once it was painted, and I didn't apply any of the extra things that you can do with chalk paint. So we also discussed those. If you're going to go with chalk paint, there's waxes that you can buy and apply once the paint has dried that will help protect the finish. There's also, a shellac or a polyurethane that you could put on it. For myself, that's just one extra step and one extra cost to add to it. So with chalk paint already being a little more pricey than your standard latex paint, I myself would steer clear of it, but that doesn't mean that it's not the right thing for everyone. I also would say that if you're going to go with chalk paint, you're going to want to do one of those last finishing steps to protect the finish and the wear and tear if you're going to have children or dogs or anything like that where you think that you might be getting having a lot of cleanup to do. The second thing I wanted to talk about was latex paint. And the reason I want to bring this up is because it is hands down my favorite paint. You can find it anywhere, comes in all different colors under the rainbow. You can choose your sheen, which I really, really like. If you want a matte look, you can get a flat paint, but if you are going to be putting it on a kitchen cabinet and you know that you're going to be washing them a lot, you can go with a semi or a high gloss paint and take care of that. So I really like that about latex paint. I like the price point on latex paint. And I also really like that latex paint is so easy to clean. It's a water-based paint, which means most of the time you're going to be able to wash up with just soap and water, which is awesome. I know that after I've been doing a painting job, I'll hop in the shower and I can just, with my soap and water and my washcloth, just scrub it right off, which is great. This is all opposed to, of course, oil-based paint. So I want to touch base on oil-based paint, and this is why. I did not use oil-based paint in my house. We were at the end of like a 3-year-long remodel. I was sick and tired of it. It was ready to be done. I had a toddler running around and an infant in a backpack, and I just needed something that I could use that was going to be quick and easy and user-friendly. So I went with latex paint for all of our trim and all of our cabinets. I want to tell you, though, that I have an uncle who has his own professional painting business and has for years, and who suggested to me at the time that we were painting our house that I go with an oil-based paint. And at the time I remember thinking, are you crazy? Like, that stuff is stinky and it takes forever to dry and the cleanup takes forever, not to mention you have to have like special stuff to clean it up with. And so I did not take his advice and I went with the latex paint. It was all great until we're on year 5 of living here now, and I'm starting to notice that we need to repaint. The durability of the latex paint just has not been what I hoped it would have been. We have a lot of dings and a lot of scratches, and on our kitchen cabinets, on the drawers that we use a lot, we've got a lot of just worn off paint. So I hate to say it, but Uncle Mike, you were right and I was wrong, and I should have listened, because oil-based does give a nice finish that is way more durable than latex. I can tell you this because I just recently went to a dental office here in town, and they had the most beautiful white cabinetry and receptionist desk. And the receptionist desk, you know, was kind of high. And so I could just imagine little kids all throughout the day, every day, hanging on with their little feet kicking this receptionist desk. And I looked at it and there was like no scuff marks and no nicks and no dings. And I asked her, I said, how do you keep this so clean? Like, this is amazing. And they said, it's oil-based paint. It's oil-based paint, and it has just stood the test of time, and it's so durable, and it wipes up, and it's awesome. So that moment, I became an oil-based paint believer. And I can bet you that next time I have to paint cabinetry, I will be going with an oil-based paint. So those are my 2 cents for your 3 options regarding painting cabinets. I hope it helped, and if you have any questions at all, please feel free to ask away in the comments section of the blog. It's tfdstyle.com. If you have a question that you would like to have answered, please feel free to email me. My email address is Lindsey, Lindsey, @tfdstyle.com. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.